Hello and welcome back to Bookmas. We are on day number 9. How on earth are we already near the end of Bookmas? Tell me that. Tell me that. We have 3 more days after this and then Bookmas is complete for another year. That is crazy. Before we get into this video, if you don't know, my name is Amelia and I upload all kinds of book content such as reading vlogs, reading wrap-ups, all that stuff, you name it. If you do enjoy that kind of content, then you know what to do. Subscribe, comment, like, follow my social medias, and let's just get on with it. If you haven't gathered by the title of today's video, I am going to be talking you through all the books that I want to read next year in 2025. I was going to do 25 books for 2025, but I'm only going to do the ones that I know I really want to read, and then I will add my book journal. You will have seen me choose 25 books, okay? If I remember any of them on my Kindle that I haven't got physically at the moment, then I will pop it up. But let's just start. This is in the wrong pile. We have a romance section and a fantasy section. I think I'm going to start with the fantasy section because it's smaller than the romance section. So let's get on with it. The first one is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is the first book in that series, in that trilogy, in the Caraval trilogy. I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I probably read the first one in 2023 and then the last 2 this year, and I really enjoyed it, the series. And I know a lot of people are going to say, you should have read this series first, but I didn't have it first. I had the other one first. So unfortunately, this comes second. But I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, because it would be lovely. It would be great if I can. I really have doubts that I will, because I'm a bit worried because I'm reading this second, and I know a lot of people say go into it first. But yeah, hoping to get to that. Another one is to continue the series and to hopefully finish it next year is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This is the next book I've got to read for the Harry Potter series. I'm loving my little chance of reading it, because if you didn't know, I have only before 2020, before I got into Order of Phoenix, I'd only read the first 2 books when I was younger. Had all the other ones, never read them. So I'm now finally reading the books and I'm loving it so far. So I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy this one as well. This is the second to last book of the series. This is obviously the one where some big stuff happens. And I remember when this book came out and I was so eager to read it, and I never read it. I don't think I remember this one coming out. It was the last one I remember coming out, because I remember running to the bookstop and getting it, and my granddad was not happy with me because he was going to get it for me for Christmas. But I was like, no, I need it now. But I'm very happy with that. Then, this is me assuming I am going to read Assassin's Blade before the new year. Fingers crossed I will. I want to then read Air of Fire by Sarah J Maas. I just want to continue the series. I'm really enjoying it so far. This is the 4th book in the series. I'm literally reading it in publication order, which is probably against what I was planning to originally plan. I will do the tandem reads for Empire Storm and Tower of Dawn, but yeah, the next book I want to read is Air of Fire. I don't want to read in the back because obviously I kind of know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to know what's going to happen. But I know the Assassin's Blade is a prequel, so in reality this follows on from Crown of Midnight more than actually that. So, another one that has been on my TBR for now, what feels like forever, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I keep saying I'm going to read it. It was on my 24 books of 2024. I have not got around to it. I don't think I'll be getting around to it before the end of the year. So, she's entering my 2025 need to read, and hopefully we'll get to it, because I've been putting it off because so many people hype this book up but then don't like the second book, and I'm like, I don't know what to think, and I'm scared. So Divine Rivals is going on this TBR, and hopefully we'll get to it in 2025. And then we finally have one which is a very, very recent add to my TBR. It is Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. This is actually on my seasonal readathon for 2024, but I don't think I'm going to get to it by the end of the year, just because of all the other books I'm reading and needing to read. So this is going on the TBR for next year, and I'm very excited to get to it. I know I will. I feel like I'll get to it in the early months of the year rather than the later months, hoping to anyway, because I need to. And like, look at this cover, like how stunning is this cover, like come on. So they are the fantasy books. I told you there wasn't many. As much as I want to say I'm a massive fantasy reader, I'm not. I like my fantasy, but I'm just not as obsessed with fantasy as I am with my romance books, which we have quite a few here, so we're going to get on with them, and they're all going to fall that way. At least I went that way, not on the floor. So, the first book is to try and finish a series. It is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the last book in the Knock 'Em Out series, and I haven't read one since November last year. And I won't lie to you, I've still got the receipt. Interesting. I won't lie to you, I haven't had that urge to want to pick this book up. Like, I've not gone like, oh, I really, really want to read it. And it's making me really think of how much I really enjoy the other two books. Like, I actually remember enjoying the second book so much, but it's just, because it's so chunky, it puts me off, one of the reasons. But also, I just don't have that urge to go, oh, I really want to read this book. So, sadly, this isn't getting picked up anytime soon. So it's going on my 2025 books, the books I need to read in 2025. So hopefully I will actually get to it. Then we have Caught Up by Liz Tom Ford. I read the first two books in this series, in the Windy City series this year. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed both of them. The right move, everything. Ryan Shea is like everything to me, and I love him so much. So I just need to read Caught Up. It's Miller and it's Kai and Miller's story, and we met Kai in the last book, so I'm very intrigued to see what this is like and what this is about, and I cannot wait to actually read this because, yeah, I need to get Pele along as well, because that's another one I really want to read next year. I want to read these two next year, so I'm up to date because I love them. I love Liz Tom Ford's writing. I loved both the books. I think I gave Mile High like 4 stars or 4 something stars. So yeah, I really enjoyed both books. Next, I actually have 2 books from this author on my TBR for 2025. And I'm not read one of her books yet, and I want to make sure I read at least 2 of her books next year. One of them is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. This book, I've not heard the greatest reviews about this, but I feel like because I haven't read one of her books going into this, it depends if I read the other one first, depending on when I read it. I feel like because I've not read one of her books, maybe it'll be different, because I think a lot of people have preconceptions because of her other 2 books that she's released. But I really want to read this book because it just sounds really interesting to me, and I love the idea of the story. Every time I flick a book, it's like dust is coming off. We love that. But yeah, I cannot wait to read this book. So that's one of her books. We'll get to another one a bit later on. Next we have an Abby Jimenez book because I love her, and currently this is the only one left on my TBR, but I will be ordering Life's Too Short very soon, so maybe that'll get added as well. But we've got Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. When I'm filming this video, I am currently reading Yours Truly. By the time this video is out, I would have finished it, and right now it's a 5-star read. I'm loving it. Like, loving it. And I just know I need this book. I cannot wait to get to this book. I just love Abby Jimenez's writing. I've not ever had a book what I've read from her I've not liked. So that is saying something. So I'm hoping this is going to be exactly the same. I know this was one of Destiny Sidwell's first 5-star reads of the year, because she read this and Wild Love and gave them both 5 stars in the same video. So that's saying something. So I'm hoping it is as good as the other ones. I don't know if we're going to see any of these 2 characters in Yours Truly, because usually in her books you always meet the character for the next book, at least in the book beforehand. So I'm hoping we meet one of them, one of the characters anyway. I'm hoping we meet one of them in Yours Truly, but we'll see. But I'm excited for this. Another one that I just don't think I'm going to get to this year as much as I really want to, but with all the videos that I've got planned, I don't think this is going to be on my radar to read, unless it comes up in the TBR, then maybe I will. Who knows? But we're just going to assume it's not. I'm going to try my hardest not to get it on a TBR at all for the rest of the year, just because then it's going to ruin my book journal when I start that book journal, but it's fine. It is Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This book is the second book in the Rose Hill series, and I enjoyed Wild Love. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it, and I've heard so many good things about this. And I do remember meeting Wes Belmont in, was it Wes? In the first book, so, and I remember liking him, so I'm intrigued to see what he is like, and meeting Skylar Stone, who is a singer. I just think it's going to be a very good, fun single dad trope. Like I love a single dad trope, and I love the idea of this. I've heard so many good things about this one book, so I'm really excited to get to it. I don't want to keep moving it around, but yeah, so excited to get to it. Bear with. Okay, and then we have The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. I've just read Behind the Net and loved it, and I was so, as soon as I read it, I was like so excited for Rory and Hazel's story. You see like snippets of them in the Behind the Net, and you're like, I can't wait to get to that book, and I'm so excited. I just genuinely cannot tell you how excited I am for this book. So I need this book in my life, and I need to read it as soon as possible. So it might be one of the ones I start the year off on. I don't know. I'm so excited for this book, and look how cute this cover is. Oh, I'm just so excited. And then we have Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. So I read The Bodyguard in my favourite booktube is Choose My Next Read. It was Ellen Catherine's choice. She said between this one and The Bodyguard, and I chose The Bodyguard because I just felt like something I was in the mood for at the time. And I gave that book 5 stars. I'd have given it 6 stars if I could. I loved it, and so I'm just so excited to get to this book. This is going to be, I'm just so excited for this book so much, like, yes. So that's definitely going to be a book I'll probably pick up in the new year, and I can't wait to see it. Like, you know, watch it. No, I mean read it. Next one is a book that I am really excited to read, but scared to read at the same point. Excuse me. Because I've not read anything from this author before, and it is The 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hildebrand. I wanted to read one of her books so bad, and I was like, I'm going to buy one. She's got so many books out. There's The Hotel Nantucket, The Perfect Couple. I think it's The Perfect Couple. It could be something else, but I think it's called The Perfect Couple because there's a Netflix series out of it. And there's so many other books on there from her that she's got, but I just chose this one because it just seemed the most one I wanted to read the most at the time. So I want to read this badly. I just want to see what her writing is, why everyone loves her writing, because I'm intrigued. We're coming to our final 2 books, the books I want to read in 2025, of like physical ones. I can't think of anything else. Actually I can think of at least one that's not physical that I'll get to in a moment. The next one is actually a very recent book, and it's one that was gifted to me by someone I love. I love her YouTube. She featured in my recent favourite booktube, Choose My Next Read. I gifted her a few times. She's also just such a lovely person to speak with. I love her, and I honestly want to meet her one day, or at least just to say hi to her. I don't even care about meeting and hanging out with her. I would love to hang out with her and Ellen, but honestly I just want to say hi to her and be like, hey. Ella Rose Reeves gifted me this book. When I say this, I genuinely, this only happened yesterday for me, and I nearly cried when I opened it. It's in a recent reading vlog, like a weekly vlog, that you can see where I genuinely nearly cried at it when I opened the book, because I was like, oh my god, this is just so sweet. And it's The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston, the one who wrote Another Love Story as well. And this has been, everyone hyped this up. Everyone has hyped this book up. I knew you were going to need charging now. Brilliant. Everyone has hyped this book up in the last year, and I need to read it. I have got it on my Kindle, but I kept ignoring it because I bought it for 99p. And like when it's on a Kindle and I can't see it physically, I'm not going to, unless I'm doing reading Kindle books. My brain doesn't go to pick up just a book that's on Kindle. It sounds stupid because like that's the whole point I bought my Kindle for. But yeah, so I got The 7 Year Slip and I really want to read it. So thank you Ella Rose Reeves for buying this off my wish list. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And then finally, it's another book that when I'm filming this video I haven't actually read the book yet, but I am going to be reading it within the week because it is for a video that I'm currently filming that would have been out before this. So I can say that by the time the new year starts I'd have read this book. So I bought this recently and was like, you know what, I need to add this to my 2025 books because the cover's just adorable, and I loved this character in the first book in Icebreaker when I actually enjoyed the book, because obviously I didn't like it at first. But this is Daydream. This is Henry and Hallie's story. I've had mixed reviews on this book. I won't lie to you, I did DNF. Originally, I soft DNF'd Icebreaker to then pick it back up and did enjoy it. I just didn't love how smutty it is at the beginning. It was just literally 40% smart at the beginning. There was more smart than there was actually anything else. And I was like, I don't like this. And then it got better. And I've heard this book's not as smutty as that book. So I don't know. I know a lot of people have been a bit disheartened by this book. I think I might like it because of that reason. It's not all smutty, but I love it and the look of it, and I can't wait to read it. So Daydream by Hannah Grace. Yeah. But that is all the books I want to read in 2025. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and I will see you again very soon with another Bookmas video. Bye!